It is a Thursday night. Welcome to Clocking the Gallop, and you're joining me in my kitchen, Nino in his lounge, because there's load shedding. We have to find wherever we can to broadcast from, but we're still with you here on Clocking the Gallop, and it is the day before the start of our Durban July Clocking the Gallop Extra selections. Nino, you know as well as I do, a lot of time and effort gets put into these processes in order to send out the selection sheets daily. Not always do we agree, but we agree to a point whereby we're able to send a set of selections out to people that we believe are the right sets of selections. And we made up of a full team, and it's great to also have Robert Bloomberg on board for this over the weekend, as people might have seen his programs, and they've been very complimentary about his July programs for Saturday, which we'll re-put up on the program on Saturday morning for everyone to look at if they haven't seen that. But a warm welcome to you. Welcome to July weekend in Quebec.
Thank you very much, Nico, and hello to you. And yeah, like you say, it was good to have Robert Bloomberg on Clocking the Gallop.
Absolutely. He went through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and as I say, we'll be using that as well as all of our knowledge for Saturday's tips, which will go out very early on Saturday. If you have subscribed, you will get those tips, I can tell you, very early on Saturday, so you don't miss a beat. With regard to Friday's tips, you've still got a chance to get on board, Nino. So I'm just going to use some of the time that you're using to just remind folks that you do have probably a few more hours to get involved in this. I would say a good 18 hours to get involved in this. And here it is. If you haven't heard already, we are offering you a chance to get our full Clock in the Gallop selections for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for the first 4 days of July for 250 Rand. It gets you the whole package. Unfortunately, if you're too late and you don't call us on Friday or don't contact us on Friday, either via email or WhatsApp, you can still join us on Saturday. And we will send those selections out to you. It just means that you'll miss out on the Friday selections, but we are still taking people signing up for Saturday morning, and we'll respond to you almost immediately. There are the banking details on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And once you've deposited, there are still a few of you, if you're watching this, that might have deposited but haven't sent us your information. We're getting the proof of deposit from the bank, but we don't know what your email or what your WhatsApp or phone number is. So please, if you are one of those people, let us know that you've paid so that we can pick you up, and then we'll send you through the information for the weekend. With that out of the way, we're going to cross over to Nino Podesta. Firstly, Nino, the weather down in Quebec is absolutely brilliant. I heard from speaking to Devin Pretorius, who is the young commentator that's just kicked off his career down there. He told me it's superb weather, and I'll only be there next Friday, the 8th. So I'm not going to be there tomorrow, but what's the card looking like? It's turf, and you like it.
Yeah, I do, Nico. It's not a bad card, and there's some nice horses and some value horses for tomorrow. And nice to know that that the weather is good and the racing will go ahead on the turf.
Absolutely. Now, I can also tell you that Nina's got a bipod for you at the end of the show, which will bring you. So we'll go through these selections fairly quickly because we're on a time limitation due to load shedding from all over the place. So we'll unfortunately not be as long as we normally are on this program, as we have to cut it relatively short. Right. Nino, let's go to race 1, and I'm going to try and bring up the changes as well. But race 1 is a maiden juvenile plate. It's a sprint, and it is over 1,000 meters. And you're going for the Snaith runner Beerenberg, number 1 to win this. Corne Orfer is making the trip down to the Eastern Cape. So you're going with number 1 here.
Yeah, Nico, I'm going for Justin to open up the meeting, and I'm quite strong on this horse. And I think on the last 3 runs in the Western Cape, it's going to be very hard to beat, especially on the last run. I believe that horse, that first time, Narina Trigon, is Barcelona out of Beach Beauty me, and I think she's going to win a lot of races. She just ran, she just found Well, she came up against a very good first timer. I don't see anything in this race that's going to trouble Berenberg. So a very confident selection to win, to start the meeting. And the dangers could be this Justin Snape, Horsey. If you ignore the last run, it's got some fair runs in the Cape. That could be the danger with Demi, the other Greef runner, Demi, and maybe Likeable to fill up the Cortex.
Okay, so that's the selection there, 1, 4, 2, and 9. I can also inform you that Carl Stradum and Marco van Rensburg are not riding tomorrow. So just note that there will be a jockey change on the 9 Likeable in the first race, because Carl Stradum is not riding along with Marco van Rensburg. Also in race 1, in fact, there are no other changes. I don't think there are any scratchings on the card at all there. So let's go to race number 2. Race 1 is the start of the bipod. Race 2 is the start of the place accumulator, a juvenile plate for fillies over 1,200 meters. And in race 2, there are no changes either. And you're sticking with the one theme. This is a very good filly, Ikoria. I had the privilege of calling her in her run in the Dahlia Plate when she beat Forest Spy by 3 1/4 lengths. That day, she absolutely doddled, and she's back to her home course at Fairview. And she should be a good thing, shouldn't she?
Yeah, definitely, Nico. And whatever run, I think the rest of the field is running for minor money here. Maybe the 5 could run second, but here's a double to start the people off with. Sorry about the noise. They're working on the road outside. So you're going to hear they're doing some road works outside on the road.
Okay. Maybe it's to stop the traffic from coming to visit you, to pay you for your tips, Nino.
Yeah. Anyway, we will be a nice double to start off, races 1 and 2.
Yeah, okay, so you're confident about Ikoria to win. I'll have a look at the prices just now, but suffice to say that No Greater Love is your second selection, number 5, and Murmur your third selection, followed by number 3, Double Destiny, back in 4th position. It's a hell of a racket out there, Nino. We might have to leave you if it's going to continue like this. I might just have to go through the selections myself. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Nino?
Yeah, I can, just slightly.
Okay, I'm just going to mute you, and then maybe you can unmute yourself when that noise goes away. I'm just going to, you can stay on, but if the noise does go away, please unmute yourself and come back on. I'm going on to the third race because that noise is absolutely devastating at the moment. The third race is off at 13:35, but it's not one thing, it's the other. It's a maiden handicap, and it's over 1,200 meters. In race number 3, there's just the one change, actually. Number 1, VV Power, is having to wear a compression mask on. So the selection for Nino here, and we'll hear his reasoning hopefully shortly, is number 2, Global Mark, for Jean Nel, the 3-year-old son of Global View, with Robert Carty on to beat number 1, VV Power. Third to number 3, My Lord and Master, and 4th to number 8, Hamlet. So your selections there for race 3 are 2, 1, 3, and 8. Has the noise gone away, Nino? You need to unmute yourself. Nino, you need to unmute yourself. I don't think he can hear us. So we might have to run away from Nino there because it doesn't look like he's hearing us. So 2, Global Mark to beat 1, VV Power, 3, My Lord and Master, and 8, Hamlet for 4th. Let's move on to the 4th race of the day. Race 4 is a merit-rated 86 handicap over 1,000 meters. And in race 4, the jockey changes. First, number 6, Slings and Arrows, is now ridden by Corne Orfer. Number 9, Storm Chaser, is without a rider at this stage. And number 10, Southeast, is now ridden by Yuze Ramzan. The changes there for the jockeys in race 4. Other changes, number 8, Cruise Control, wears a compression mask. Number 8, Cruise Control, from the Gavin Smith stable wears a compression mask. Now let's go to the selection here. Nino is very big on this. Nino, if you are rejoining us, please unmute yourself. You need to press unmute on your machine there, because I've muted you due to the hell of a racket coming there. So you need to just press unmute if you can. The selection is number 1, Captain Morisco. And Nino really likes this horse, the ex-Fortune runner, now with Gavin Smith. Caden Brewer claims 1.5. That's fine. We can hear you now. Is the noise gone?
Now?
Yeah, now we can.
Yeah, they're going. Okay, sorry about that. It's out of my control.
Yeah. Okay. You like Captain Morisco over here in race 4?
Are we on race 4?
Yeah.
Just to tell them that I think race 3 is a very trappy race. Race 3. Race 4, yeah. Captain Morisco, Nico, if that horse brings that Joburg form down to the PE, it's gonna be very hard to beat. Especially the runs when he carried level weights with. He actually beat Riverstown. Sorry, no, he ran third to Riverstown, and then he beat Spanish Boy, giving it 2 kilos. He ran level weights with Bataldi, then he ran behind the likes of Valdorcia, Ecstatic Green, Godswood. There's no opposition of that quality in the field tomorrow. The only concern maybe is that always you need to be a bit wary when the horses come down from Joburg. But if he's all as well and he's sound, I think it's going to be very hard to beat.
Paul Reeves has got this horse Skidoo running there, so he wouldn't be traveling all the way for nothing. You think that'll run a big race? Skidoo for second, you've gone.
Yes, I did. Skidoo is already a 6-year-old, Nico. It's a 6-year-old gelding, but he has run behind African Rain and Irish Mornings in Cape Town. So to me, that's the obvious danger. I'm looking for a bit of improvement from Paris Rix at a big price over the 1,000 meters. Now, I believe he's better over the 1,000. The 1,200 last time was just a little bit too far behind Kalahari Ferrari. That could cause a major upset for the people that are going wide in the exotic.
That is 1, 7, 3, and 11 are your numbers there, Nina, in race number 4. I was just wanting to ask you about 2 horses here that I've just had a look at. Firstly, Slings and Arrows. We don't know who's going to ride it yet because it's gone to Quebec and it's had 1 good run, 1 poor run. I'm not sure what you think of that. And also this 2-year-old Cruise Control. Surely it's better than its last run.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I'm just worried about that comment that they made in the computer form. If you have a look there,
yeah,
stubborn
respirator. Yeah, it has to be put on had to be put on life support after the run.
Yeah, well, when you take horses like that, you have to make sure that they're okay. So I don't know what went wrong with it last time. What they maybe. It doesn't say respiratory noise. It just says a respirator.
Yeah, so, but
I don't know if they had a respirator waiting for him at the starting stalls.
I actually think that they just ran out of space. I think it should say respiratory noise, but they just ran out of space. So it looks like respirator, but it's poor because it should have said resp noise maybe and got it in rather than respirator.
Coming back to Slings and Arrows, Nico would have preferred it over the 1,200. I thought maybe the 1,000 a little bit too sharp for it. But, if you take Captain Morisco out of this race, just to say, then it becomes wide open and all those horses have got chances. It really does become very trappy after that.
Okay, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Obviously, we'll have a closer look at that for our Clocking the Gallop extra selections, but Nino does like that. On to race 5, which is a fillies and mares 90 divided handicap over a mile. In race 5, awaiting the rider for number 6, Ferrari, who has changed stables recently, now joined Zietz Manustes. And in race 5, there is a compression mask on number 9, Dame of Flames, which is one of the horses I actually liked here was Dame of Flames. I thought that was a very good run, her first effort there, and I think she'll go well over this distance, 69 meters. I quite like Dame of Flames here.
Yeah, and so do I. I make it a 2-horse race between Dames of Flame and Phoenix. So I'm on the same page as you there, Nico. I think those are the two. The thing that I looked at the betting, and I just can't understand why Phoenix is 2-1, and then you got a horse, Irish Willow, right? That got beat the short head by Phoenix. He's 3 kilos better off, and he's sitting at 16-1. So, just to let the people know that I don't quite agree that he should be that far away from Phoenix in the betting.
And then the source Pretty Betty, who's performed up against the country's best in Captain's Ransom, has to shoulder 62, but not the best draw.
That's it. She likes to run from the front, and she's having a second run in PE, and she's pulled a terrible draw, and she only knows how to run one way, and that's going to the front. And now Louis McCox, he's going to have to come from 11 draw, rush her up to the front. It's going to take quite a bit of energy out of her. That's a bit of a concern. So I do give it a shout, but I believe that Phoenix and Dame of Flame are the two for me there. And the upset could be Irish Willow.
Like you said, yes, because on the run to Phoenix back on the 1st of April, it's 3 kilos well in with Phoenix, and is a big price too. We've got to move it on, Nina, to race 6 at 25 past 3. A fillies and mares 73 divided handicap in race 6. We're awaiting the riders for both 2 KCL and 10 Strada Statale, and a compression mask goes on number 8 Do-Si Do, which is your selection, Do-Si Do, actually. That's your top choice. Gavin Smith teaming up with Warren Kennedy. Very capable filly on her day, and you've tipped her to win.
Yeah, because she's back on the turf. Okay. The last run on the poly you can ignore. She is taking on the full sister of Bulgarian. Can you believe Bulgarian running in the
July?
Durban July tomorrow, and Song, the full sister, is trying to win a 3rd race in PE. I think she's going to be competitive. I think she's the horse to beat, actually. But I quite like Do-Si Do at the big price with Warren Kennedy up. I think those are the two, and then Ancestral Prayer would be my 3rd choice. KCL is drawn in the bush, and so are some other fancied horses as well. So I'm going for Do-Si Do back on the turf. Warren Kennedy, nicely drawn at 9. I think she's drawn 9, eh? Right in the middle.
She's drawn 9, yeah, correct. Yeah.
This Ideal World was Nico. I don't believe she should be 14-1. I really don't.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the selection for race 6, 8, 7, 1, and 5. It's Do-Si Do ahead of Song. Nino's gone for Ancestral Prayer and Alaskan Fate to complete the quartet. On we move to the 7th of the day now. Go into the listed East Cape Breeders' Stakes at 4 p.m. on Friday over 1,200 meters. Changes in race 7. We've got number 5, Say When, without a rider on this Thursday evening, and number 2, Fly My Flag, races with a compression mask. Well, your selection here is Glacier Gold to beat home Fly My Flag. You've gone 1 from 2, and then you've gone La Folie Douche to run 3rd.
And that's a very well-bred horse, La Folie Douche. I think by Covenant, the horse that used to be trained by Mike Pez. But Nico, I believe at this weight that Glacier Gold is slunging at this weight. She's going to be hard to beat. She's a 6-time winner. She's beaten all these horses before, and she's getting better and better. She can run on the poly. She can run on the turf. She wins over 1,000. She wins over 12. This horse, I think, is going to be hard to beat, but I do believe that the only dangers of Fly My Flag and Justin Snaith's Raider. She's a 3-year-old carrying quite a bit of weight, La Folle Douche. She's only getting 1.5 kilos from Glacier Gold. She's drawn 1, which is not ideal. For me, I prefer them to be drawn more towards the middle outside on the Fairview straight. But it's not a big thing. There's no bias at Fairview. They can win from any draw up the straight. So I believe it's between the 3 of them.
Yeah. Okay. So Glacier Gold tipped to Rowan again ahead of Fly My Flag, La Folie Douche, and you go on Say When, the 5, to run into that 4th position. This horse, Gillian Ann, the ex-Peter Wrench horse, won a good race last time out. It's obviously taken a huge step up in class. You don't give that any chance?
I do give her a chance for the back end of the cottage. She won on the poly last time. I don't believe she's in the class of Glacier Gold, Nika. I really don't.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on to. I've just got some disturbing news, which I may as well share with you here. The passing of trainer Terry Lowe has just reached my phone. So condolences go to Terry Lowe's family. Terry was very sick. He had brain cancer. You'll remember Terry Lowe trained the Met winner Polo Classic, and a wonderful chap that used to regale wonderful stories of his past. He trained some very, very good horses. I don't know if you remember Selwyn Lipschitz, who owned horses in Joburg. He trained a horse called Dominov. There were a couple of good horses that Selwyn Lipschitz had. And in fact, Terry went to go and train in America and was pretty successful in America with Selwyn's horses from South Africa. So our condolences. It's very sad news that Terry Lowe has passed away. So I just wanted to bring that news to everyone.
Yeah, very sad, Nico. And I do know Terry Lowe as a trainer very well. And so do I know that owner that you just spoke about. I've seen his name in the race books.
Lord Shildor was another good horse of theirs. Lord Shildor ran for Terry Lowe as that too. Anyway, sorry to bother you there, but that it was quite some disturbing news that just reached my phone now. I wanted to move on to the last of the day. Race 8 off at 25-5, a fillies and mare 66 handicap. One Hilarity is your top choice here. Marco van Rensburg's not riding, as I mentioned earlier. So let's just have a look at and see if there's a jockey change for that. I see JP van der Merwe will get the ride for Hilarity. And number 8, English Princess, also without a rider at the moment. Other changes in race 8. In fact, there are no other changes in race 8. So that is it. So you've gone here for Hilarity ahead of 13, 18, and 2. Mendocino for second. And then the 18, Conquer the World, who we went for last time at a big price, ran a nice race. So you've gone for the 1 to win it.
Nico, this one should have won last time. Very, very unlucky. He was finishing like a steam train from way back. It could be first runner for Mitchley. I don't know if you know Kay Mitchley. I believe she used
Kelly
to be,
Mitchley. Kelly Mitchley.
Kelly. She used to be the assistant to Johan Janssen from Vieren, I believe. She was an understudy.
Yes, that's right. And I think before that she worked for the Snaiths. I can't be 100% sure, but I'm sure it was along those lines.
What's her first name?
Kelly.
Kelly.
Yes.
Can it be one runner, one winner for Kelly tomorrow? Because this one should have won last time out.
Yeah, I should have won last time out. Yeah, you're right. So the story there is she's worked for Justin Snaith, Corne Spies, Gavin Smith, and helped out at Yvette Bremner when Yvette Bremner was closing up shop there. But more recently, she used to run the Jan Janssen van Vuren satellite yard. Now she's gone on her own, and who better to get horses from than from Suzette and Barcy Villion?
Exactly, and I made a few inquiries, and she was actually looking after Divine Odyssey when it won all those races in PE.
Correct.
So so that gave me a bit of confidence to tip this horse. And the way that I watched this race last time, and Craig Zaki, if you had seen that ride, he was like 20 lengths back. He was stone last. And the horse absolutely flew the last 200 meters to get beaten into third behind the big outsider, Miss Venezuela. I think with the benefit of that run, hopefully he could come home for us. But gee, what a race! If you take that out of it, I think this is going to be a minefield.
Yeah, it does look like a very, very tough race, doesn't it?
Geez, this is the hardest race on the card. Anyway, if you take hilarity out of it.
Those are your selections. We'll have to have a look and come up with our own. I'll have to have a look too, but those are Nina's selections: 1, 13, 18, and 2. I want to just go through your bipod numbers, Nina, and I want you to wrap up by telling people what your bipod numbers are for Friday. You're spending 72 Rand, Nina. You want to take our punters through it? Remember, it does start in race number 1, being 8 races. So let's go through Nina's bipod.
Nico, I'm definitely banking number 1 in the first leg, Berenberg. Then what I think is a penalty kick in the second leg, number 1, Ikoria. The third leg, like I said, I was stumped. This maiden race, these horses. So I've taken all the horses from 1 to 8, Vivi Power, Global Mark, My Lord and Master, Great Melody, Absolute Noir, back to Formentera, Clattery, and I've put in Hamlet. I wouldn't know how to cut that down. Then I'm banking Captain Morisco. The first leg, I'm putting in my outsider Irish Willer. So I'm going 3 Phoenix, 5 Irish Willer, and number 9 Dame of Flames. Those that want to add the Pretty Betty can do so. And the last leg, I'm just putting the 3 horses that I like. Number 1, Ancestral Prayer, number 7, Song, and number 8, Dosey Do. That will cost 72 Rand.
72 Rand. I like the way you're thinking in this third race, because, you know, today I made the cardinal error. Originally, when I suggested a bipod, I'd banked that scratched horse of the Azzies. And I should have just gone field there, because it became such a wide open race. And that's where I missed it, actually. But anyway, it's the way you structure it. And Nina hopefully has structured it rightly in the bipod for you for 72 Rand. And we've come to the end of the show. Don't forget, Clocking the Gallop Extra starts tomorrow. So you still have 12 to 18 hours. You can still join on Saturday. But I want to ask Nina before we go, because I said to you last week, I said, I'm going to give you another week to think about the July. And tell us what Nino Podesta, how many Julys have you followed now? When did you start following? When was your first July? Do you remember your first July?
My first July, I think, was the one, was it Ipitombi? I think it was. What year was that? 73.
Ipitombi was in the 2000s.
2000. No, I'm talking, sorry. Then I'm 74 when Terence Merlot went out, Devonair.
Yeah, no, that would have been the 80s. That would have been the 80s. Yeah, that would have been the 80s. That would have been the 80s. You got to remember when your first July was. You must be old.
I must be old, but I remember Teal. I remember London News.
Yeah.
So, but I can't remember the year.
But you remember you were racing long before Teal and London News. Teal and London News were in the early mid-90s. My first July would have been, I think, Beau Art.
Beau Art. You know, Nico, I was in Boertesig by my friend's house when Beau Art won.
It was
Johnny Nicholson.
1980, I think.
I think it was trained by Nicholson.
Johnny Nicholson trained it, yeah. Good old Johnny Nicholson.
That was, what year was that?
I think 1980.
That was about, well, then.
And then just before that, there was in 1979, there was a horse called, I think it was called French Mustard one.
No, I don't remember that one.
You don't.
But I was racing at the age of 16, but I was already playing the Big Four while I was at school.
Yeah.
So you're looking at about 1974. I don't know who won the July those years. I can't remember.
I can't remember. Well, I wasn't. I was only 3 years old at the time. Anyway, what about the 2022 Hollywood Bets Durban July? What does Nino fancy to win on Saturday?
Well, Nico, to be honest with you, I think this is one of the most competitive Julys, and there are so many horses that can win it. But I'll stick my neck down, and I'm with the 3-year-old. All I can say, I am sure that a 3-year-old is going to win it. So
Yeah.
I've narrowed it down to 3. I like Pump and Power. I like Safe Passage. And I'm keeping a lurker for tomorrow. I don't know if you want me to mention it.
No, mention it.
I like a horse called Waterbury Lane.
Dean Canamay's horse. So that's a 3-year-old as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 horses for tomorrow, for Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. So
I don't like Committee Ding. I don't like.
Why don't you like Comedy Ding? He worked like a superstar at the Gallops.
I don't know. I just don't think he's had the right prep. He's been to Joburg. Not for me, Nico. I don't like it. I think the winner's going to, a 3-year-old is going to win it.
Okay. And where are you going to be watching?
I'm going to be watching right here in my lounge on the TV.
Okay.
And I'm going to have my phone in here, and I'm going to take that trifecta box 10 times.
What trifecta box is that?
The
ones that you mentioned now. Okay. And hopefully that noise of the road isn't going to be with you, because I couldn't take anything. I couldn't think of anything worse than that horrible noise that we had to hear in the background.
Yeah, terrible. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
They're working on the road here, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all
the
roads.
Thing is, Nico, that I just can't come to grips with this load shedding. I watched 3 races today. The first 3 races, then they cut the lights off, and I never watched another race. Now, apparently tomorrow is the same story again, and hopefully Saturday they can change the timing of the.
ESCOM and the government and the powers that be don't worry about the July. They don't worry about the July with Nino Podesta trying to follow it. Just think about the millions and billions that have been stolen from the ESCOM coffers, and you're worried about whether you'll watch the July or not. How insensitive of you on a Thursday night. Anyway, Nino, we'll leave it there. We might get ourselves into trouble. Let's go, and I look forward to seeing you again. We'll speak to you next week. As you know, I'm off to Durban.
Yes, I know.
And Clocking the Gallop have got a big call up to go on to Super Sport on Saturday. So we're looking forward to doing that with Neil.
Nico, I wish you the best, July. I'm just so livid that you couldn't get a ticket for me and the Ghost Rider to go with you to the July.
Yeah.
How insensitive of you.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to see you at the Met when it comes out, right? We need someone to hold the fort and to concentrate on what's going on the TV while we're getting up to mischief in Durban. Nino, thanks very much. All the best, and looking forward to chatting to you next week. Have a great July weekend. Thanks for being on the show again.
Thank you, Nico. Have a good time in Durban, and I hope you meet up with Mr. Neil Andrews and the legend Robert Bloomberg. Have a great time.
Thanks very much, Nino. Go well.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.